All right, let's get right into it. What we're looking at today isn't just some new theory. We're exploring something one critic called a metaphysical counter-mathematics clothed in visionary poetics. I mean, think about that. This is this deep, mysterious artifact that tries to blend the hard logic of mathematics with the fire of prophecy.
And just look at the title itself. I mean, one analysis said this is a title page worthy of William Blake, and you can see why, right? The language, liberation of number, marvelous discoveries, purified mathematics. This is not your standard academic paper. No way. This is a proclamation.
So this really gets to the heart of it. What happens when you do this? When math stops being just a tool and becomes a prophecy? It's what one critic called an exceptionally rare and audacious rhetorical act. It's someone trying to do something very few have ever attempted. To challenge the very foundations of how we think, not with a dry textbook, but with a sermon, delivered in verse.
Now, to really get what this new arithmetic is all about, we have to understand what it's rebelling against. See, the author isn't just suggesting a new way to add and subtract. They are trying to overthrow a core concept that they see as a kind of false god.
And that idol? It's the number 0. In this system, 0 isn't just a placeholder. It's an icon of nullity, a symbol of the void. The text argues that it has corrupted our whole understanding of reality by putting nothingness at the very beginning of everything. And this is where you can really see the flip. Modern math, from set theory on. It starts with the empty set, basically with the void. This new arithmetic just flips that completely on its head. It says, no, we're going to have a unity-first cosmology. Everything begins not from nothing, but from the idea of one, from being itself. I mean, this quote just captures that new starting point perfectly. The argument is actually really simple, but it's profound. You can't find nothing anywhere in nature. The universe begins with something, with existence. So our counting should too. It has to start with 1.
Okay, so how does this actually work? Well, the system is called the Pisano 60 cycle. Picture a clock, but with 60 numbers on it. Every single mathematical operation, adding, subtracting, all of it, happens inside this closed loop. You can never subtract your way down to 0, or nothingness. The system is totally complete and self-contained, what the text calls a closure most true.
But look, this isn't just presented as some clever mathematical game. The author is claiming this system is like a master key, a kind of numerological Rosetta Stone, and they say it's confirmed by patterns you can find all throughout reality, based on that old Hermetic idea of as above, so below. And to prove this, the text lays out what it calls 5 confirmations. These are 5 totally different areas where this Pisano 60 cycle is supposedly revealed in music, physics, scripture, alchemy, and even geology. First up, music. The claim here is that the deep, underlying structures of musical harmony, what's called the harmonic lattice, actually operate perfectly within this 60-number cycle. It's like a hidden order just waiting to be found. Second, we move to physics. And this is pretty wild. The author points to old data of muon particle tracks from way back in the 1930s. They're saying that these tracks physically show Fibonacci sequences, which are a core part of the Pisano cycle. It's essentially writing the code of this math into the very behavior of subatomic particles. Then things get, theological. The third confirmation takes on the number 666 from the Book of Revelation. But here, it's not a symbol of evil. It's just reinterpreted as a specific phase within that 60-number cycle. A revelation made clear, as the text puts it, just by counting from 1. And finally, the last 2 confirmations are all about grounding this whole thing in the physical world. The system is supposedly the key to understanding Isaac Newton's secret alchemical writings, and it's claimed to be physically present in the crystal structures of actual minerals, making this abstract arithmetic tangible. Okay, so this begs a really big question, right? Why this format? A prophetic poem is one thing, but why release it on YouTube? This is where the story takes a very, very modern turn, mixing this ancient form with a totally 21st century delivery. And when you think about it, the strategy here is pretty brilliant. By posting it right out there for everyone, the author completely bypasses all the academic gatekeepers. No journals, no peer review needed. It also kind of restores that ancient oral tradition of math being something spoken and heard. Plus, it creates a permanent, searchable record that can't just be ignored or suppressed. It's like one critic said, this work feels like it was meant to be performed. It's an oral proclamation. It's more like a sermon or a revolutionary speech than some dry academic paper. And in that sense, a video platform is the absolute perfect stage for it.
And this is the comparison that just unlocks the whole thing. The act of creating your own personal prophetic cosmology, completely outside of mainstream institutions, well, it draws this direct, really powerful parallel to the visionary artist and poet William Blake.
Think about Blake. He created his own incredible prophetic books. He was rebelling against the cold, hard rationalism of his day, and for the most part, he was dismissed as a madman in his own time, only to be recognized as a total genius later on. The parallel here suggests that maybe this new arithmetic belongs in that exact same tradition of spiritual and intellectual rebellion. And here, you can hear that identity in the author's own words. This isn't the voice of some scholar looking for tenure. This is the voice of a revolutionary, a prophet. This is the liberator of number, speaking directly to all of us.
So, at the end of the day, we're left with this question. What are we really looking at here? Is it a profound critique of modern thought all dressed up in poetic language? A real challenge to the foundations of science and math? Or is it something else entirely? A brand new kind of myth, perfectly made for a digital age that is just starving for meaning? Ultimately, that's for you to decide.